time to advertise on the YouTube, or I meant on Instagram. Hey, we got two people here. The Revenkist, also known as Marcel. What's up? I'm always just gonna want to call you Odin. By the way, I don't think that's gonna change. Ethan, what's up, man? Every time I see your name, I think of Elaine Cunningham, who wrote the awesome Dark Journey novel. She also wrote a short story. I think it's called The Apprentice. I haven't read it. It's a New Jedi Order short story. I need to read it though. How have y'all been tonight? I just got off work. I'm off for the next 4 days. So LOL, Odin is all good, but just avoid it's pronounced Marcel. Okay. Marcel. Odin is your name. Sorry. Odin. That's how I saw it. That's how I'm gonna remember it. But Marcel, I will remember that in it. So I have been reading. In fact, let me go get it real quick. I'll show you guys what I've been up to. I've been reading this right here. Mara Jade by the Emperor's Hand. This is the trade, of course. Only a few pages in it. It's pretty good. It reminds me a lot of Tales of the Jedi. And I think you would, not really because of the story, but because of the art. It's very Tales of the Jedi-like. And I love that. I love the art in that series. It's one of my favorite aspects of it. But this takes place, in between Return of the Jedi and Heir to the Empire. So it's kind of her backstory a little bit. Not really her backstory, but more of what she was doing before the Thrawn trilogy started. So this is pretty good. This will be my next review. I know I said Crimson Empire 2, but I'm like, I want to read Mara Jade. Let's read some Mara Jade. So here we are. Also, spoiler alert, for those who haven't read it, it's not that big of a spoiler. Stackpole wrote it, but look who shows up. Also, when I first looked at that piece of artwork down there at the bottom, at least my bottom right, yeah, I thought it was naked Mara, but it's not. So it's just her in a jumpsuit. It's cool that Isar's in it. Damn Houses, pretty good. I read these. What's up, Alex? Scott Johnson. Sam looks a bit. She looks the same to me. Speak of the devil. I love the literal devil. Look at that contrasting opinion there. To Atlanta. No, it wasn't. I was actually, when I first saw it, I'm like, what the It's like, why did you put this in here? But she's not naked, so. I don't fetish over Star Wars characters. It's weird. Now, I will say, I do have, I can admit some of the actresses are hot, but Mara Jade she's practically a cartoon character. Meaning she doesn't have an actress, so she's just a fictional character. So it's weird to fetish that. No, I know. Okay. Too based. I'm always. I keep getting called that. I mean, I'm not. It's not. I'm not trying to get called based. I don't know. I just speak my mind. But I think Percent is very good. Black Nebula is very. Yeah, I like Black Nebula. I think that's pretty cool. Kind of a obviously a Shadows of the Empire callback, but it's really nice, that kind of continuity there. Same with Iceheart being in it. That was a nice touch. Um, Also, this series is 6 issues. It doesn't seem like 6 issues from the trade paperback. Not that that's a bad thing. That leaves some shelf space, but it's very interesting. I love the cover art for this, by the way. This is unique cover art for the trade. But what I don't like about the trade is there's no, because if you have any Dark Horse trades, you know that there's usually a gallery section where they kind of show off the original trade, the original cover art, but none of that's in here. It's just the comic, and that's it. Now there is this cool little wait, some a little timeline there, if you can see that, of all the Dark Horse stuff. You can't see it; it's blurry, but that's really nice to have there. Um, then, of course, it has a whole bunch. I'm already doing the review of the series. I haven't finished reading it. But there's a bunch of. Did Han Solo at Star Zing get a comic adaptation? That's weird. But just a bunch of Dark Horse stuff as well. So it's kind of cool. If you're like me, it does give you some things to read if you haven't read any of it, or at least remind you of stuff that you can read. A bunch of them. I didn't know they did mangas. That's cool. Anyway, I started such a good villain. I haven't experienced her yet. I haven't read those books or comics. I've heard interesting things about the comics, like the comics are good or stuff, something like that. That I've heard other things, so I don't know. I think percent references Shadows of the Empire much better than Shadows of the Empire. That's weird. Showing intimidation female villain before 2014 yet. One of many. Intimidating Brody got back. I know. Mara really wasn't really a villain. That she wasn't. She's the protagonist. If you're talking about By the Emperor's Hand. You're so Cobra Kai guy. I'm sorry. I used to love those dumb Dark Horse comic timelines on the side. Yeah, they're really nice. Comics of X-Men will be new for me when I get to it. Only read the novels. I haven't read the novels. I have all the novels. Just haven't read them. Well, except Mercy Kill. I really don't. I know Mercy Kill is technically an X-Men book, but I don't know. I don't count it. It came out years later and has a completely different cover. Or at least cover style. So, and I don't really like that. I mean, I'm not opposed to to them doing an action because like what they did. It's just I wish the cover was some of the same style. Art wise, because they have the X-Men books. They have their a particular style, particular format. Maybe there's copyright stuff there with Bantam. I don't know. But it's cool that I haven't read these because it gives me some more stuff to read in the Bantam era. Because I've read most of it. I've pretty much read all the Han, Luke, and Leia stuff. Or at least the books that showcase them in the Bantam era. That's practically all I have. Not all of it, I guess, but Because see, when I was reading these books, it's like, well, I want to read about Han, Luke, and Leia. I don't really care about characters I've never met before. But I know I'm missing out now because I have experienced some of those characters in NJO. But yeah. Starfighter's Vatamar might be my favorite one. I haven't read it. I've heard good things about it though. It's Aaron Alston. I mean, he never, from what I've been told, he never wrote a bad book. How's my day been? It's been tiring. Because I on Sundays I have to get up like early because church. Man, stay up there. And I didn't get a lot of sleep, so I've been up all day with just a few hours of sleep. Probably should be going to bed, but I love you guys. Alien Submarine Shadows of the Empire. Don't know if you finished it. Man, I've been working too much to read, to have the energy to read. But like I said, I'm off for the next 4 days, so I'm probably going to try and finish it. I'm going to try and finish it. Because now that I'm doing reviews now, and I'm really going to start doing it and trying with those. What am I talking about? Now that I'm reviewing stuff, I'm gonna be serious about it and actually pursue it. I'm gonna try and read as much as I can, because see, I'm not a reader. I don't have the mind of a reader. Like Matt Wilkins, he's a reader. I'd classify him as a reader. I'm not. I read Star Wars books. I've read a ton of Star Wars books, but it takes a lot of discipline for me to sit down and read a book. It's not because the book is bad or anything. It's just I'm not a reader. I'd rather read comics, if anything, because it doesn't take as long. I'm just not a patient person. Same church-based decision, of course. I love going to church. Though I go to a Catholic church, and you're not going to like that. I got to go to church for helping with sound. Early Sunday, 2 hours per service. I have to go to, well, I don't know if you know this, but because I am converting to the Catholic Church, we have to do a class. Now, since I was a Protestant, since I was baptized, I can take the shortest class, which is around 6 months. Now, if you were coming from a different faith, like Buddhism or Islam, and you're converting to the Catholic Church, man, it takes like 2 years. So, but I have to get up an hour earlier because the class is an hour earlier than so. The class itself is at 9, and then Mass is at 10. So I have to get up at 8, get ready for, So I'm basically at the church for 2 hours, I think, or every Sunday. But I love it, though. I love getting up is the sad part, but I love it. Hello, boys. Blue Pig is here. How's it going? We're just talking about Star Wars. Best thing ever. So glad the Lancey YouTube series is starting. Yeah, me too. I told you you'd be freaking rad at it. Well, thank you. Hey, we got some Catholic brothers in here. Welcome. Still gotta do a crusade on Noah's server. That's funny. Southern Baptist. I used to be Southern Baptist, not anymore though. Please don't ex-friend me. No one's gonna ex-friend you. If they do, then I'm gonna ex-friend them. But I think we all just need more Christianity. C.S. Lewis wrote. We need more Jediism and Judaism. Yeah, Blue Pig isn't religious, so from what I remember. I'm friends with atheists, Catholics, Muslims. So yeah, we have in the group chat we have a couple of LGBTQ people. So I don't give a crap who you are, as long as you talk about Star Wars and we're good. I don't know. I've told Max, who's in strictly Star Wars. I told her, I'm a Christian and everything, but I accept you for who you are. And if anyone in that group chat gives you shit, let me know and I'll take care of it. No, not more mere. I don't think mere Christianity is going to help anything. We need the fullness of Christianity. And I believe that's Catholicism. What do you mean I am religious? I follow Judaism and Dudism. Do you also follow Waru Blue Pig? I mean, I'm not Blue Pig, but yes, I do follow Waru. He's a part of the Trinity. Waru Worshipers Unite. Amen. Amen. Gotta get my Southern Baptist draw back. No, I'm not gonna lie though. I do miss my Southern Baptist preacher. Some of those sermons are really good. As Nabil Qureshi, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name, a former Muslim said, he went to high school with a bunch of people who called themselves Christians, but none told him about Jesus. Reverend Kism is my new thing. Regaining lost territory after a war. In Reverend's case, it was the Mandalorian War. My case is the EU getting jettisoned. We're going to bring it back, boys. Revan hid Mandalore's mask. What would that be? Well, like, what would you be hiding? Kathleen Kennedy? I don't know. I've actually been told by Jennifer Heddle that the whole EU decision that they made was a Kathleen Kennedy level decision. Well, we don't know if it was her or not, like her specifically, but someone up in the high ranks like that. It was their decision, and that's what makes it so hard. Like if it was the story group, I think we would have gotten it by now, because it's the story group. I mean, hell, Leland Cheese on the story group. He was an EU guy back in the day. But no, and if it was a story group, they would have never gotten rid of the EU. I don't think. I think they would have made a different timeline, but I don't think they would have gotten rid of it. Now, I am aware of what the story group has said, but they're just a bunch of liars. So maybe it's good that they're not a part of it, but I don't know. So they concluded two things: one, they don't actually believe what they say they believe, or they don't care where he went after death. One girl finally didn't. He had more respect for her because even though he discriminated with her. Good question. Gotta think about what we'd be hiding. Something that they would find very useful. Leland and Pablo turned on us. Yeah, I know. And it's such a shame because Pablo, he's always been an asshole. But Leland Shee, I mean, he fought for us back in the day. But he doesn't fight for us anymore. So it's almost like, why should we fight for him? Why should we support him anymore? He turned his back on us. So I don't know. I was going to tweet about that because it makes me sad what Leland, because I know, he fought for us back in the day. I say us, but I wasn't even alive back then. But, I mean, he fought for EU fans all the way back, when the prequels were contradicting shit, all the way until Filoni's Clone Wars. So, it's such a shame what happened with Leland. He fought for us so long, but once the idea of a new paycheck, a better paycheck came up, he turned on us, right? So, whatever. I feel like Pablo is in. It's another paycheck for him. Oh, but he knows all this stuff. Okay, anyone can learn anything. It's what you want to do with that information that really is worth it. Like someone like Super Stoney, she knew the lore. But she was a good person. She loved us, and we loved her. She loved the story. In fact, I actually got to speak with her on Twitter one time. It was awesome. Because I think I made a tweet months ago, a year ago at this point. But I was like, I tweeted, I wonder what happened to her. She actually responded. And you can go on my Twitter. You have to scroll through a bunch of shit, but so it's really she really cared about us. Pablo, no. My question is, where's the story group now? They don't do anything EU related, and the Disney has had numerous obvious continuators. Yeah, I mean, Pablo Hidalgo has been asked this and he especially was asked this during the whole Kanan comic controversy back in when the Bad Batch was coming out. And it's like, this is his answer. We're trying not to tell the storytellers what to do, or something to that effect. It's like, you're a story group. That's the whole job, is helping storytellers tell the story. And if you find shit that doesn't fit together, call them out on it. It's ridiculous what the story group is doing. And they act like they're the first time that we've ever had one. While it's true, we never really had an official one back in the day. We had people who did the same shit that they're doing now. Helping the authors with story, helping, maintaining continuity, keeping track of everything with the holocron. Hell, we had the holocron. It was an EU thing before it was a new canon thing. It's ridiculous. Man, I'm getting a little far behind here. LOL, time for me and Lance to start theology hour where we disagree on 6% of things and disagree about the other third. We're not that different. Catholics and Protestants. We believe in the same basics. We believe in the basics. It's just surrounding things with Mary and the saints and the role of tradition and things of that nature. Pablo was on the forums back in the day. He was once a fan, but once he got a senior position at LF, he didn't have time for it. Of course not. Sorry, I agreed with the 6%. See? It's an all fan different churches within Christianity. Well, it's a very historical thing. I say that because history is a huge deal. But, Alex is going to hate me for this, but there was the early church, and as a Catholic, we believe that was the Catholic Church. And then, basically from there, the early church being the first church, and then from there, the Christianity spread from there, and as it spread, it started branching off. And there's been two major schisms in the history of the church. One in 1054 between the Catholic and Orthodox churches, which form now what we call the Catholicism, which is a branch. There's three branches of Christianity: Catholicism, Orthodoxy, and Protestantism. The first two branches were formed in 1054, Catholicism and Orthodoxy. And it wasn't until 500 years later when we got Protestantism. It was another schism. So if you remember, in Star Wars, you know how the Jedi had schisms and it led into the Sith and all these different other splinter groups? The Christian church is the same way. And with Protestantism, it's very unique because it's not an overall institution. See, the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church are two separate institutions that form Catholicism and Orthodoxy. But Protestantism is just a branch, and it has literally thousands of different denominations within it. And these denominations are completely standalone. They're not interconnected with each other. And a lot of times these denominations disagree with each other on a lot. So it's confusing, but I've grown up with Christianity, so I was kind of born with understanding it. But obviously, someone like you who's not religious, I can see why it's challenging. But with Protestants, that's your Baptists, that's your Presbyterians, your Episcopalians, Anglicans, Lutherans, Methodists, those kind of people. Those are all considered to be Protestant Christians. My understanding is that the story group's only there. Well, they need to be doing a lot more. They need to have some power is what they need. Jennifer Heddle was hired around the time they were plotting the revamp. Huh. Not necessarily. St. Jerome translated the Bible into Latin centuries before Luther. Luther only translated into German. He didn't translate it to any other language. And people had Bibles back then. They just weren't printed as much. And the literacy rates were also very low. So the only time they could we read the Bibles at Mass, and every 3 years in the Catholic liturgy, we read the entirety of Scripture, including the Deuterocanonical books. So he didn't just translate the Bible; he also removed books from it. In fact, he wanted to remove the Book of James, and because he thought the Book of James taught a works-based salvation. It doesn't teach that; it just teaches a faith in works-based salvation. And he didn't agree with that, so he wanted to remove it. So that's not why he did that. He translated the Bible because he wanted the German Bible. 2, he wanted to make sure his Bible fit with his beliefs. Because before, common people simply listened to the priests since they could speak Latin. But yeah, because they didn't know how to read anyway. Or write, for that matter. Dang, Protestants are Sith. Just an analogy. I didn't say y'all are Sith. Y'all are probably far from it. In fact, there's anything that's Sith and the whole in Christianity, it's Satan and his angels. Those are Sith, not Protestants. I mean, if I was brought up Christian, I would be. You guys probably were right. I would think how you're brought up with religion. It does, but not necessarily. Because I think once we all get old enough, we can make our own decisions. Like, I was raised Protestant, but I'm 17 years old and becoming Catholic now. And that didn't happen overnight. So, and there's tons of ex-Christians out here. So it just depends, really. It also depends, it depends on your experiences as well. Because people's experience, especially in the church, is huge. The problem regarding the story group is that they might want to video a certain decision, but then director of whatever current projects. Again, that shouldn't matter. The story group it really shouldn't be the director. The director should have nothing to do. It should be the writers. The story group should have control over the writers. That's what they should have control over. Joel Osteen, that sounds familiar. Sounds like a heretic, to be honest with you. And I'm being serious. Oh yeah, that guy is a complete moron. And look, I love Billy Graham. Like, even as a Catholic, I love Billy Graham, and he's no Billy Graham. Prosperity gospel, if you obey God, you'll get rich, is a lie. And really, yeah, people need to understand that if you obey God, that doesn't mean bad things are gonna stop happening. You'll just be able to handle it a lot better. Well, my friend went to church and he said youth group would give me free food. I had no interest in God or religion, but I liked food, so I went. Oh, that's funny. I was very, very strong about the LGBTQ community, and so I had a lot of questions. Man, I know we're here. No, he wouldn't. It's not his stream. It's my stream. Now, if it starts getting bad, if people start getting offended and everything, and there's a big old fight about it, then yeah, that's when I'll shut it down. But no, we're just having a conversation about it. For a few years, how do you constantly question my friends' pastors? You find a way. He wouldn't succeed. It's not his stream. I was raised Catholic and never considered switching, but I do have a lot of respect for Orthodoxy. I think differences are mainly cultural, not the case for Protestantism. Not entirely. So obviously, a lot of them are for sure, like the way they worship, things like that. But like Mary, there's some slight differences there, and of course, the papacy is a huge thing. Um, and of course, Protestants are almost completely different religions at this point. At least if you were to look at some Protestant freaking church services look like concerts. I mean, is that really Christianity? And my answer is no. But if there's any Orthodox Christians, which I don't think there are, but sorry to offend you here, I'm not trying to offend you, but read the early church fathers, Scott. They affirmed the Bishop of Rome as the supreme head of the church. So, started reading about apologetics and philosophy and reasons why God makes sense, and I was like, dang, if this was true, I need to change. And by the way, I have a lot of respect for Orthodoxy too. In fact, I did consider converting to that. But after reading, especially what St. Irenaeus had to say about the papacy, I was like, and remember, St. Irenaeus is an apostle of Polycarp, who was an apostle of John, St. John the Apostle. So that's why I chose Catholicism than Orthodoxy. Plus, if you look at the Great Schism from 1054, I mean, the Eastern Christians didn't like the papacy, so they left. I mean, that's exactly what happened. It wasn't like a mutual split between the two. The Orthodox Christians left, right? You can't say the Catholic Church left from the Orthodox Church because the Orthodox Church didn't affirm the papacy. The Eastern churches did not affirm the papacy. So, my whole worldview just kind of changed. I think just try to be a good person in life, generally be understanding. I'm not going to respond to that because you're not going to like my answer to that. It matters overall. But good subjective world without God. Yeah, but I do think that we can have some pretty objective. Now I can't really explain why, but we just generally humans are against killing other humans. Why? Because we're social creatures. We don't want to hurt other people. So, and we are social creatures. According to obviously we're social. Me doing this live stream proves it. If I wasn't a social creature, I wouldn't have the desire to come on here and talk to people. So, I do think that there are some times where good is objective, even without God. And not because of, I'm just saying that, but because science shows it. And I mean, and if you look at actual murderers and killers, those people are not sane at all. Or rapists or whatever. None of them are sane. So I think we can kind of provide reasons as to why killing someone is objectively wrong without citing the Bible. But I do agree with if I hate to use this example, but homosexuality, right? We can say that's immoral because God says it's immoral. Otherwise, it would be subjective. You're right. No offense to gay people if you're gay. Just using it as an example. That's gonna go to people are gonna clip that. I'm sure no one's gonna clip it. But gotta be samurai also measure. Make sure to capitalize that G. I mean, you can realize someone's opinion. Emmanuel Kant talked about categorical imperatives, basically objectively good things all humans can agree. Exactly. At least all sane humans. I think that's important to note. All sane people can say, yeah, killing innocent people is wrong. And we would say that again because of what evolution has stated. We're social creatures. We evolved in groups. We so that's why we don't want to kill other people because we can sympathize with it because we're social creatures. So that's how I could say murder, is objectively wrong without God, or that rape is objectively wrong without God. And you're probably like, you're a Christian. Why are you defending atheists? Because I think a lot of atheists get a lot of crap that doesn't make any sense. Obviously, I'm not atheist, but to say that they can't defend, or they can't show why something is objectively wrong, I think that's ludicrous. Obviously, they can. Not because of God, but because that's just who we are as humans. It's ingrained in us. It's how we evolved. So, I just joined. I accidentally brought up religion. I don't remember how. I was trying to debate, but I don't really mind as long as it's peaceful. This is an atheistic worldview is irrelevant, though. You can be atheist, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever. You can believe in any god, and you can still come to that same conclusion. Not because of God, not because of that same conclusion being murder is wrong, not because of God, not because of the lack of gods, but because we're social creatures. One of the main things with religion is how long the earth has been around, or stuff like that. Well, the Catholic Church teaches that the books of Moses, which is the first 5 books of the Bible, also known as the Torah, a lot of it is kind of metaphorical, mythical almost. That's how I've always viewed it. Now, Job chapter 40, which is not a part of the Torah, but Job chapter 40 talks about behemoths with tails as strong as cedar. So that could be referring to dinosaurs. Who knows? But I do believe, I don't know how the Earth is. I can't really prove it. I think the age of the Earth is irrelevant when it comes to Christianity. I think the salvation of man is important, way more important. I think people debating on, how old's the Earth is irrelevant. It's a waste of time. I believe in older. See, I don't really know much about the young Earth versus old Earth view. I believe in theistic evolution. But there's, again, Alex, yes, there is. We can ground simple things. Now, again, if we're talking about more things, like more controversial things like homosexuality or abortion or contraceptives or whatever, okay, that, as Christians, we believe a lot. Well, I guess I can believe. I'm not going to even say my views on those different things. But those kind of things, are, Christians believe they're immoral because God says so. But with things like, well, I guess abortion, I don't know if that would count. But anyway, that's not the point. My opinion on that stuff doesn't matter. I'm not saying what my opinion is. You can probably figure it out anyway. But the point is, with things like murder and rape, all of us can say, because we're all sane, we can all say, atheists included, that it's wrong because it's killing another human being, and we have sympathy for that human being because we're social creatures. We don't want that person to die. That's why we consider it objectively wrong from a human mindset. I think gotta know God. It makes me think of stuff like that. The universe as a whole. I think the universe as a whole and how big it is more proof of God. Like every time NASA comes out with a new picture or whatever of space, I'm like, God is beautiful. I do believe in the Big Bang. God said, "Let there be light," and light was. Though that did happen after the creation of the Earth. So that's really not the best example. But ironically enough, it was a Catholic priest who came up with that theory. Believe it or not, it was a Catholic priest. Where the stuff that was composed of the stuff in the Big Bang come from? Where did God come from? He's a creator. He did not need to be created. The Bible says he's everlasting to everlasting. So he always existed, at least according to the Bible. Now you're like, well, how does that work? Christians can't tell you how it works because we don't know either. Because our human brains are so tiny and so small compared to the mind of God that we cannot comprehend what it's like to have always been around. It makes no sense to us because we're so used to things having a beginning and an end. But with God, there is no beginning and there is no end. So the creator does not require to be created. But the created does require a creator. Oh, Lord. I mean, God couldn't have only created Earth. When you look at the rest of space, you can see that there must be other civilizations. I like to believe that God has created the civilizations. I don't see why he would just stop with us. We know the universe is ever expanding. I always see that as God is infinitely creating. He's a creator. It's what he does. It's a passion he has for it. It's more than just passion. But he's a creator. So who's to say he doesn't create other civilizations like ours on other worlds that are light years from here? Who knows? I don't see that why that would be a problem. I mean, he's still creating here. Animals are born. Trillions of animals are born every day. And all kinds of life is born every second of every day. I do believe that aliens exist with the scope of the universe. I don't know if they are any other intelligent ones, but visited. If the universe is infinite, wouldn't that make each solar system slightly different variations of each other? I mean, I don't know variations of each other, but they're just different. I don't know. I think God is always creating. He's always expanding. He's always doing that. It's like an EU fan. I'm always expanding my EU collection because I love the EU. Same way with God. He loves creating, so he's going to continue expanding his creation. Pretty sure aliens don't exist. He's not intelligent. How do you know that, though? You don't know that. The Bible doesn't say anything about that. It doesn't need to. Obviously, none of our concern. They've never. Intelligent aliens have never talked to us or contacted us or anything like that. Now, what's interesting is science, because there's a few different theories about this. There's one theory called the rare Earth theory, which basically means that Earth-like planets are actually pretty rare in the universe. Not that they don't exist. We do know of other Earth-like planets that do exist out there, but it's just whether they have life or not, which they probably do. They're Earth-like. So, I mean, water, oxygen, that's all that's needed for life. A suitable atmosphere, a suitable gravitational pull. I mean, all that is essential for life. Obviously, the sun and that planet being at the right position from each other. I love how I started. I did this because I want to talk about Star Wars. Let's move on. I'm kind of getting done with talking about religion. I want to talk about something else. Something Star Wars. What is everyone reading right now? Your book or comic that you're reading right now. I know Alex is reading Shadows of the Empire. I'm reading March Shade by the Emperor's Hand and Shadows of the Empire as well. So, if you guys want to continue this conversation, do it on Discord, Instagram, wherever you guys want to talk to each other. Let's talk about Star Wars. Jedi Surge, amazing book. I love the Jedi Academy trilogy. Same, you guys know how my thing is NJO. That was my favorite. I used to be like that with Jedi Academy trilogy before I read NJO. I was reading some Republic tonight. I finally got to Clone Wars and read through Battle of Kamino. Great issue. Nice. Sorry, Lance. Your fault, Alex. Not your fault at all. In fact, I brought it up, so I'm ending it. Ooh, the Corellian trilogy. That's a great one. I love that trilogy. In fact, I have the books here. It does have great covers. I love the covers of those books. Shizor is great. I love Shizor. He's pretty cunning. I took a break from E, but once I continue, I may pick up Fatal Lines next. Alex will have an issue with that. Lance, give us a bookcase tour. That's gonna be hard because the camera sucks on this freaking computer. But I'll try. Okay. So, the actual bookcase starts over here. That's where the first. Oh Lord Almighty, help me. So, this is hard though. Here. I have to get out of my chair. Did you guys want a bookcase? It's okay. I'll figure it out. I think I'm gonna have to move this chair out of the way. Coming down into my world. Okay, here we go. First book there, that should be, I believe it's Deceived. I gotta lay a figure in front of it. Sorry, Leia. So this is chronological order. So Deceived. And all the way. Oh Lord. So there's that. That's all the way up to the X-Wing. And then my bottom shelf here, the rest of the series continues onto the other shelf. This bottom shelf here that you're looking at now, kind of. That's just like extra stuff I have, like my Jedi vs. Sith. You can't even see it. Jedi vs. Sith, Central Guide to the Force. I love that book. New Central Guide to Droids. Central Reader's Companion. I hate Hidalgo. He's an asshole, but at least he did good with this book. Dark Empire Epic Collection. Because I run Dark Empire in print. Obviously, the trade paperbacks I've been showing off a lot recently. Here, Crimson Empire 2, and then the other two. I've already read these two that I'm showing now. Open Seasons and Jedi Academy Leviathan. Great comics. Then there's my hardback collection of the Thrawn trilogy. I believe those are dated to 1993. All three of them are. Star by Star by Troy Denning. I hardcover copy of the Crystal Star without the dust jacket because my sister found it at a yard sale. She's like, "Hey, do you want this?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" My first copy of Jedi Surge that is like pieces at this point. And if you're chatting, I'm not reading any of it. I'm sorry. Hut Gambit with the Legends label. You don't need to see that. VHS of the original Star Wars trilogy. Right there. Obviously my favorite trilogy. I believe these are from late 90s.
1997. Though I haven't watched them, so I don't know if they are the original editions or not. I think it said on there that they are. And then I also have a Yoda stuff in here as a book. And Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. This is not Star Wars, but Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, Incredible Hulk, Far From Home, and Homecoming. I don't have No Way Home yet. I actually haven't watched any of this yet, except Homecoming. I have seen that. Only bought this because during Christmas time last year, I basically watched like a whole bunch of MCU, and I was going to go see No Way Home, but I didn't see it because life happened. And I have the Hulk because it's not on Disney Plus. Okay, here we go. The rest of the shelf. Oh, there's my cookie that I didn't finish eating. Oh, you guys can see that. Solo Command all the way to Ambitious Colonia. These are the first ebooks I ever read right here. And it's my paperback of the Thrawn trilogy. There's Shadow at Centerpoint, Showdown at Centerpoint, all the way to Balance Point. I actually shut off the shelf in a video. And then my rest of the NJO there. And then the Darkness trilogy and Legacy of the Force. The rest of it right here. You know, I think that's Fury all the way to Abyss. And Fate of the Jedi is all out of order because I just don't know what the books were yet. But yeah, that is my EU collection. What else? Am I missing something? Probably. Number one, but it's like a 2007 reprint, so it's nothing special. And you guys have seen it on my streets before. Those are my books, though. I spent a lot on all of them, but it's worth it. I'm back in my blanket. All right, let's get through some of these comics. Comments. I know I've been missing a lot. Okay, reading Shadow Games and almost finished. I guess it's really good. It's cool to hear. Shadow Games. I've heard Shadow Games is really good. Yeah, I think it's I believe it's a prequel to Shadows of the Empire. Shadow Games sounds super good. Why does he go Revan to the sea? What do you mean? He goes from Deceit to Revan. I mean, because I don't have many Old Republic. I would have gotten it to eventually, but I prioritized it. I only got to see because I'm playing What's My SWTOR. I still haven't read the book yet. But I wish I had original Bounty Hunter Wars paperbacks. They look so much better. Yeah, they look pretty cool. I love the covers for those books. Dark Empire Epic Collection is real nice. I love the Epic Collection for that book. If it had no Legends label, it'd be perfect. Love Dark Empire Epic. Wish I had Thrawn Trilogy Epic. You don't need it though. Read the books. So expensive. Dark Empire is a gem. The first series was good. The two after that, they're pretty bad. Dark Empire Epic Collection is so expensive for now, and it just came out last year. Damn, I got looking at it. I pre-ordered mine though because I didn't have the series in print, and there was no other way to get it at a decent price except for the Epic Collection. So I'm glad to have got it if it's all out of print now. And yeah, you're right. It just came out. Wrong. Remy Spider-Man, great stuff. Interesting. I've heard the best. I've heard the exact opposite. I took about Heir of the Empire. Capturing the full Star Wars.
Really? Noah Crucify? I don't care. This Noah guy sounds like a real weirdo. Watch Jeremy's, but I will sometime. Sound like a comic guy anyway. But yeah, that's my shelf. Not that impressive, I guess. Oh, also, I think I showed this off on the stream, but a family member was going through some of the VHS collection that she had, some of her VHS stuff, and she had this. And she's like, well, may as well want this. Now, first of all, that artwork is flipping phenomenal. I love that artwork. But this is dated, I believe, 1984. 1984, yes. So, now again, I don't have a VCR, so I haven't watched this or the box set that I have. But this is definitely an original copy with the original film intact before special editions and stuff. So, I mean, I guess the only thing I'm being here is like, oh, it says episode 4 on the cover, or on the scroll, the opening crawl, whatever, which is fine. Other than that, it's basically like it originally was. So can't wait to watch it when I get a VCR. There's a huge flea market near me, and I want to go there and see if I can get some VCRs. I don't have any. Yeah, I gotta do this. Why does this Noah guy sound? I don't know why people want to talk to him so much. Apparently, like, I haven't met the dude or talked to him at all. So apparently, people like to run about him, because apparently we would be best friends. Don't fall over, Anakin. Okay. I'm sleepy. The artist for the Bounty Hunter trilogy is the brother of the guy who was artist of the X-Men books. Let's look it up. I have those books. Okay, Mandalorian Armor and Rogue Squadron. Let's see who did the covers. It should say it in here, right? It should. Cover up by Paul Yule. PaulYoull. That's for Rogue Squadron. Let's see here. Cover by Steve Yule. Steve and then Youll. You're right. It's the same. Oh, not the same guy. It's they're brothers. You were right. Can't wait to read this book trilogy. I haven't read it, but it's classic Bantam. Did the light just turn off? And here's see the back of Slave Ship. Just look at that. Look how cool that looks. Amazing, man. I love the covers of these books. And here's the back. I love to have posters of this. I mean, look at the back of that. Let me look at that. Of hard merchandise. Awesome. Okay, comments. Let's see what we got here. Dr. Chris Nelson for posters. I don't think he's selling any of them. Blanchard falling behind. Yeah, because I keep getting distracted. What's Bounty Hunter Awards? Yeah, I know. I love the covers. Someone mentioned Matt Wilkins. Someone get him on this stream sometime soon. Maybe not today, but the next time I stream, and if it's early enough, get him on. I don't know how to contact him. Chris Nelson, I don't know how he discovered me. I've commented on a couple of his videos, but I don't know. It's weird. But get Matt on here. The day I have Matt Wilkins at least comment on my stream. The day I finally live. Matt is on vacation right now. So what? He's literally trying to get his fan fiction on Amazon right now. Chris is EU King. He knows the all. I think we'd give Matt Wilkins the EU King only because he's kind of the leader of this whole EU movement. We're all his soldiers. Chris, he's a loyal lieutenant. He's Matt's right hand man. He's commented on my Spider-Man streams. That's cool. He's commented on that first EU talk we had, Alex. He commented on that video. Chris is the puppet master. Oh, Nimi confirmed. Matt is the face of it all. Shimra confirmed. Chris is more like the EU completionist. Chris knows more than Matt. Well, Chris knows more than Matt. I'll bet money on it. Yeah, but Matt is the leader. Matt is kind of segregation. Yeah, plus his channel's always been the one that kind of started this whole EU movement. He basically started it. Well, not really started it, but he's the one who started making videos, and he's the one who started making it go public, more public than what it was. Matt did get his fan. Whoa. Check it out, Lynch. Whoa. Really? What, isn't it called Dark Moon of Endor or something like that? I'm just gonna look up Matt Wilkins and see what comes up. Tales from the Galaxy. I'm gonna go. How much? Tales from the Galaxy. What else did he put up? Is that it? He didn't put up anything else besides Tales of the Galaxy Volume 4. Okay, doesn't that have just a bunch of short stories though? Yeah, I'm gonna order me a copy soon. Tales of Fanfiction. Doesn't it have Imprint? Does it have Imprint, the short story? Not Imprint. Vortex. The Christy Golden short story that no one can find. I forget the name of it. Yeah, can someone answer that if it's in it? I don't know what's in it. It said look inside. I can't get inside. 4 has mostly fanfics, and I think 1 and 2 official. Okay, then I'm not interested if it's just fanfics. Sorry. 4 is just fanfic. Yeah, I'm not interested then. I'm sorry. I don't know. If it's just fanfiction, I'm not interested at all. If it has imprint, a bunch of those hyperspace shorts that you can no longer find now, then yeah, I would buy it. But sorry, I'm just not interested if it doesn't have any of that. If it has mostly fan fictions, then I'm just not interested. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Matt. I'm sure he understands, so. What? Yeah. I want official stuff. I still think. I don't know. I'm not a fan fiction. I like writing it. I don't like reading it. If it's not official, then I could care less about it. Sorry, fan fiction writers. I write fan. I don't share my fan fiction, but I do write it just for me. Not against fan fiction, but if I have the option just to read stuff with it, I just want to read stuff in the U continuity that's out of print, like Imprint, the short story, or a bunch of those hyperspace stuff that we can't find anymore. You don't know? Yes, I do. Everyone knows who that is. I haven't read his stuff either. This stuff Matt Tunes with. He's just he's a Star Wars fan like all of us. I mean, he's not God. Sorry, I'm just not interested in that stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, he made a Sword of the Jedi trilogy. I'm not gonna read it. I heard it was bad though. I heard there was one Sword of the Jedi trilogy. I don't know if Hand of Thrawn wrote this, but basically Jason comes back and all this fan fiction-y stuff happens. So Jason's dead. He dies in Invincible. Case closed. He's dead. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. We finally got Matt to try Hand of Thrawn. Really? Like Sword of the Jedi? His Sword of the Jedi trilogy? He's read Hand of Thrawn duology. I know that. But we're not talking about the fan fiction. But if he puts up Tales to the Galaxy volumes 1 through 3, yes, I will buy those. But I'm not buying volume 4. I'm sorry. Jason goes, shows up on Sonoma Sakat. He doesn't come back later. No one's heard of Hand of Thrawn's War. Well, it's in the Dinning verse, so of course it's bad. Damn it, I dropped my cookie. Still gonna eat it though. It's not dirty at all. My floor is clean. Fair. No, I haven't read Jedi Prince, the regular series. I have it, I just haven't read it. I've seen Dinning haters and joiners say it's good. I only say that as a joke. Probably not. No, I will get a copy of that if it does come out. If it comes out in paperback, at least, or in a physical format. I don't think it will. But if it did, yeah. How much longer do you think you're gonna stream? I want to sleep. Whenever I get tired. Sorry, Blue Pig. Hey, but you can always watch it later. After, because it'll go to YouTube after this, so you can watch it then if you want. I'll be back in just a second. Oh. Her mom got upstairs. Damn, we'll continue patiently with supernatural encounters. But Ustream talked about religion for the first 30 minutes. Good luck with your first day. Adult life sucks. The first last day. The last first day, I should say. Not the first last day. That would suck, wouldn't it? Honored to be in that playlist. To be honest, I think I'm gonna go there. I'm getting tired. I have to use the restroom, and I do want to read. Before I go to bed, I do want to read a little bit of this as well, just a few pages at least. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go. I've been streaming for an hour anyway, so Blue Pig, you can go to bed now. Y'all have a really good night. So remember all my socials, Instagram and Twitter are the Star Wars UT. I'll put that in chat. So if y'all want to follow me, if you don't follow me on there, I know all of y'all do. Or Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I know not everyone does. So that's my Twitter handle as well. You have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Probably will stream tomorrow. I'm gonna try and read a lot more. I'm also gonna try and get Empress Hand finished, so I can do a review for it. I may film the review tomorrow as well. So that'll be my second review. And then after that, I'll definitely be doing Crimson Empire, Council of Blood. I'll read that, get it reviewed. So yeah, that's my schedule. When school starts, it'll be starting in a couple of weeks now, or no, less than that at this point. Sorry about that. I will read then, or I'll what am I saying? When school starts, I'm still gonna try to read as much as I can, and do as many reviews as I can. I'm also gonna review stuff I have read. I've read a bunch of this on this shelf here, so definitely gonna go through a lot of that and read it or review it. Not rereading it, but yeah, that's the plan. On Instagram, same thing going on, or same thing that has been going on. So, yep. You have a good night. Love y'all. Y'all the best. See y'all tomorrow.